Hey guys, how you doing? This is False Bulls 123, and I think this is day 4 of my moving story. So I just went and dropped off some more stuff over at Goodwill, and I'm still trying to figure out a lot to do with, all of my things. I was thinking yesterday, hey, I could have gotten, a UPS truck and I'll have to mail all this stuff. But then I'm thinking, not UPS, U-Haul, you know what I mean. But I'm thinking, if I did that, where am I going to put the things when I get home? I have, a place to stay, but my mom's house, my aunt's house, they don't really have any room for, any of the furniture I have or any of the other things. So I would have to downsize, down there just as much as I have to downsize here. Besides that, I'm not really sure what I want to do for content at the moment. I have a few things planned, for my for my moving story, but I also have to, think about, I don't want it to be focused all on stuff like that. I figure, I want to make sure that I have good quality content that isn't just me blabbering on for the next 20 minutes about whatever comes to the top of my mind, but at the same time, it's I like being able to reach out to you guys, tell you, what's going on, and I think that's, something that's really helpful for me in this time period. So, let's see, a little conversation about the setting. So, right behind me, you can see, I guess, just a random spot of Oak Street Park. I might have to give you a little tour of it, just, walk around it a little bit. Oh, I know, montage. That's what the YouTube game is about these days. So,
It's raining hard on the pathways of the local park in the midday sun. It's covered up, there's no rays on my face as I stare at the sun. And as the rain falls down, 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 I look around and I think to myself, this all there is. And I say to myself, couldn't be worse than this.
Besides that, I don't really have much going on. I'm going to probably start grabbing, mailing boxes, trying to figure out, the most efficient way to send everything. And besides that, it's I don't know diddly squat about mailing. So if you have, any suggestions, if you know, the best way to package books or paintings or large, lightweight items, that would be really great, because one thing I'm going to have to think about is, Mama Brune. And now, let's see, I'm trying to remember when we actually got her. So that was first quarter of college, and Chris had just moved in about maybe a month ago. And so one day he shows up and he's just look what I found, and it's just this huge black bear. And so we're talking about it, and so I decided to call him Mama Brune. And so it's just whatever, dude. But it's I just called it, and that's what stuck. And after he left for the summer, between my first and second year, I just kept her in my storage. When I moved into Lily's place, when I moved back into the dorms, I went and grabbed her. When I moved to Lily's place, I moved her over. So she's been living with me for about a year now. So I talked to my roommate Mariah. I'm actually going. She said I should help me dye my hair on Halloween. So we're gonna have a cool dye your hair tutorial or something, or just be me and Mariah sitting in the bathtub, being a total bunch of fuckers. But and so she said if I couldn't bring her with me, she would gladly give her a good home, and I think that would be a really good foster for her, because she loves stuffed animals. She has a bunch of them, and I don't want Mama Brune to be going someplace where she wouldn't be appreciated. I know that's silly. I know it's a stuffed bear, but it's at the same time, I hate the idea of something that I've owned and cared for being mistreated. I want everything I own to have the same love in its life that I give it, that it's always had, even if it's not a real thing. I'm kind of concerned about what's going to happen with the car. I still need to call the junkyard, figure out how I'm going to deal with her, because I can't take her with me, and given the time period, I really can't get her fixed. And it sucks that I have to let it go. It really does. But it's just, her time's up. It's probably been up for a while now, and I just have to really, admit that. Besides that, I'm doing pretty good packing-wise. Oh, dear Lord. Dripping a little. I, went for my books. I've run for my notebooks now. You saw those videos, and I guess what's next is just start downsizing my clothing, I guess. I need to start getting all of it washed. Then once I do that, I guess I have to go through and see, what I want to keep, what I don't want to keep. I'm going to start pricing out some luggage today, see, how much it's going to cost me, what I can, put on the Greyhound, and just start, really getting a grasp of what I can take with me on the bus and what I need to send ahead. Because if I do that, if I price it all out, I'm going to be okay with, my paychecks, because I have a game plan. I also need to call, the loan office, say, hey, I'm going for, some shit right now. You need to get that verbatim, and because we were talking about that over the phone, he was a real nice guy. And I'm thinking, this is the guy I talked to when I have, problems with my student loans. I'm okay with that. He was super chill, really nice, really made me feel at home, and that made me really happy. Saying really a lot if you haven't noticed. And besides that, I have to, switch my phone over. I have to switch my, medical insurance again because I'm moving counties. Because I remember the first time I did deal with the whole medical thing, right? So I'm just like, hey guys. Oh, by the way, I was kneeling that entire time so I could stay in frame. And it's like, hey guys. So I call them up and I'm like, so I need to switch my insurance so I don't die in this barren podunk town. And they're like, sure. Let me send you through 3 separate agencies. 3 different numbers. All of them are different. I finally get some person for a tribal care, and I'm just like, hey, I don't know why I was in this thing. I am not, part of a Native American tribe. I really should not be getting a benefit for this. Then they, cancel that, and then we, had to redo the insurance for the whole thing, because for some reason I was on a moving insurance. And it was this whole kerfuffle, and I don't even know how I got into, that situation. But eventually, we finally get it so that I have medical coverage here, and that's just OHP. But, now that I'm, moving back down to Medford, and I just realized in Medford, I have a primary care provider. I have a dentist office that I can call at any time, and it's and I know where it is. I could walk to my dentist office if I needed to. That is awesome. It's nice that if I have a dental surgery, I don't have to really walk all the way across town. The last time I had a dental appointment, it was my day off. I get a ride down there, and oh my goodness. I'm I finish up with the appointment. We figure out some stuff about my teeth, and then my ride misses me, and I literally have to walk the 3 miles back to my house after spending all day in the dentist's office. Oh yeah, and then my roommates made me feel like shit because I'm just like, hey, don't worry, I made it home safe, because I don't want my friend to worry. I assume that if I missed each other, she would be worried about me because she gives a shit about me. But holy shit, that was months ago. Either way, it's gonna be nice. So I'm running a bit of a cold right now, so it's also gonna be nice to be in a winter place where I actually have insulated rooms and a working heater that won't burn down the house and charge us millions of dollars. That'll be nice. I haven't had central heating in a long time, so I'm excited for that. I don't think you really realize how shitty my, how apartment is, but it's pretty bad. Let's see, so we got 4 people living in it right now, I know. It's a 2-bedroom, and it costs $1,000 a month just for rent. That counts the utilities, doesn't count laundry services, which are coin-operated and cost us about $4 for, one full load. Let's see, it's got black mold in the bathroom, black mold in the closets, black mold in all rooms, which after, actually treating ourselves, which should not be our jobs, we, have gone down. The windows in my room barely work. They are not insulated, and before we repainted the sills, they literally had so much water come through those dang window seals. I once lifted up a can of spray paint that was sitting on it, and it was Niagara Falls. all this condensation in the lid. I could have practically been drinking half a cup of water if I put my mouth underneath that downpour. Oh yeah, there's also, let's see, no working like smoke detectives, no escape plans for fires. If there was a fire or like some sort of gas leak in the house, we would die because it is a death trap. I live in a hovel in the bad part of town. I mean, to be honest, it's such a small town. Is there a good part of town? Yes, that's where the rich people live. And by which I mean old people. And I guess it's like east side, which like seems nice, and the riffraff can't get there because you need a car. So anyway, I live in Empire. It's basically what people call like the dope side of town. Is where all the tweakers live, where all like a lot of the other stuff is, and it ain't great. It's a nice side of town. Like the buildings are pretty and shit, but it ain't great. Oh yeah, Medford, now there's bad parts of Medford too. There is poverty there also, but the people are just like a lot nicer, and there's a lot more things. And as long as you're not walking on the bike trails at 12 o'clock at night, you shouldn't get stabbed. And I'm sorry, that's really the long and short of it. There are some shitty neighborhoods, but luckily there's also a lot of other places to live besides those. Like when my family was homeless, we didn't live in the bad side of town. We lived on Riverside, which was a lot of people lived on Riverside. And it's like the only place that's kind of crummy in Medford is maybe somewhere in the South Medford area. Because you go far enough past Riverside, you go far enough north, there's a lot more like the neighborhoods are a little more sketchy. There's some gang problems, but it's not the way that you have in Detroit or LA. It's a lot smaller, and honestly, it's just a lot of people up from California making it a lot worse. And no hate on Californians. I'm not trying to be a dick about that, but it's we don't really have that same sort of gang culture in Oregon. A lot of the people that bring it, that are part of it, are really bringing that from that sort of from the culture, from that type of neighborhood where that was a thing that people did. And it's just honestly, the idea that there's a gangs in Oregon is ridiculous, because it's really not that type of place. I mean, I feel that the need to form tight social militias should never be a type of place in a just society, but the world sucks. We all know that. Besides that weird little tangent, I don't really got anything. I was thinking what might be a nice fun idea for maybe some of the other ones is that I do a few little short come walk with me's just before I go. I am not going to put a set number on it, because first of all, I have a job, I have a lot of shit to do packing wise, and I still have my content network that I'm trying to keep maintained, and that's a lot of work, editing and filming and doing all of that. But some places I might want to point out to you guys is, oh my god, that's my nose. You did not see that. So some other places I wanted to show you guys was probably Hollowing Point. It's this super cool little beach area that's right past Empire. And it's the only beach you're going to see in this town unless you go all the way down to Cape Arago. And Cape Arago is a really fun beach, but if you don't have a car, you can't get to it, honey. That's one of the second things in town is that all the nice shit, all the cool things in town, are outside the town. So you want to go up to the North Spit, you want to go into Coquille, you need a car. You want to go to East Side, you need a Coach's house, you need a car. You want to go to the Memorial Gardens, the Botanical Gardens, just down the road, you need a fucking car. Oh, and $5. But hey, that $5 covers the seals, it covers the beach, it covers the Botanical Gardens, it has a whole fucking slew of things. It's worth $5 to go down to that park. But besides that, it's just, there's not a lot super here that you can't really get to without walking. Because I've been to every place in town that you can get to walking, because I walked there. Medford, you can still go to Bear Creek Park, or honestly, we don't have that many natural things in town because it's a big city. But we do have like a lot of cultural places. We got the Criterion, that's right on Riverside. We have like, a Rogue Valley Mall, which is huge and has a lot of things. We have a bunch of shopping centers. We have all sorts of markets. We have a lot of nice parks. And yeah, they aren't going to like, be the same as like, Boynton Park or Oak Street Park here, which is nice and pretty. But we also have a lot more like, playground structures and sports fields and water parks and things like that. We have a lot of really great like activities. And Bear Creek is a really awesome park too. It's absolutely huge. It covers tons of blocks and it has this giant wooden playground structure that they might have been renovating. It is pretty old. But like I used to love to go to Bear Creek Park and play along in like, the sandboxes that were in part of the play structure. And it would be like this huge like metropolis maze that you would run across. That's cool. That's awesome when like kids can have like platforming adventures in a fucking park. But there's also like, a few art installations there. They have volleyball fields. They have a pavilion where you can like, have parties. They have a skate park and a dog park connected, which are pretty decent actually. I don't really have any friends that skate in town, so I haven't really been able to show you the skate park that's by Mingus, but that one's pretty cool. I haven't really like, been to it because I don't skate. I tried once. I bruised my friend's shin. She cried for an hour. We didn't do it again. But I mean, that might be something to try another one of these years when I actually somehow manage to get hand-eye coordination. But besides that, I'm just gonna like, peace out. This is False Bulls 123 signing off, and remember to like, subscribe, and slam that notification bell if you're into that.